Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the simplest of the operations in the Alamy-Lightroom Bridge, and that is setting data. In the last exciting episodes, what we've done is sent 5 test photos to Alamy. They passed QC, and then we did that first all-important fetch. That is the operation that connects the photos in Lightroom with their equivalents in Alamy. Once that's done, we're good to go. So if you've watched that previous video, you should remember that on the photos that were sent up, there was very little data sent. They received a few basic keywords, or tags as Alamy call them, and they had a location. There's actually GPS data in there as well. We set 1 or 2 of these options just so that we could prove that the fetch was actually retrieving data, but other than that, these photos have had very little done to them. So what we're going to do today is do it in the other direction. We're going to set some information in Lightroom, and then we're going to transmit it to Alamy. And as I said, this is one of the most simple things that you can do with this. So, what do we have? They all have a single keyword of Easter Island, and because I'm using a hierarchy, we also get Chile and South America. So let's set 1 or 2 more keywords. Let's have crater, because it is, and I want crater to pick up volcano, because it is. That is a volcanic crater. Terrain, volcano, I need to consolidate that, but not now. So let's put that crater inside volcano, inside terrain, and you can see that we're going to get those as well. And for these ones, I'm not going to go nuts on the keywording here, it's just so that we've got 1 or 2 to choose from. We're going to have moai and statue. Now let's see if they're connected. No, they're not. And let's put moai inside statue so that that would get that at the same time. On moai, I am going to set a synonym of head, which isn't really a synonym, it's just saying that I want that always included. Right, so we've added just 1 or 2 keywords just to prove the point, and the same for these. So they all have something different to send to Alamy. Let's close that down, and I'm going to switch this metadata panel back to Alamy Plus. This is a custom one that's added by the plugin, which has all of the basic details that you need for Alamy, including the location and other things like that. So caption, again, I'm not going to go nuts on these, I'll just do it on some. So body volcanic of Easter Island, Rapa Nui. Yep, that's set. Right, other things that Alamy would like. We have a primary category of travel. That one is going to be landscapes. Those 3, what's the secondary category there? Objects in still life? Not really. Not architectures. I think it may need to be objects in still life. Oh well. Right, so clearly that's not a stunning effort put into captions and keywords, but you get the point. This video is not about captions and keywords. That will do. Right, one thing to note. In here we have the Supertags and the tags. These are what Alamy call the keywords. At the moment it has only some tags. Those were the ones that were embedded in the JPEG when that was uploaded to Alamy, and they came from the keywords which I had already assigned inside Lightroom. Tags, as far as Alamy are concerned, are not as relevant to search as Supertags, so it would be nice to get those moved up there. Now if you are doing this online with Alamy, what you would need to do is take these keywords here, and you would then need to type them in to the Alamy website. one photo at a time, and that frankly is a pain. So let's see what happens. I'm going to select them, go to export, and this time we're going to use set Alamy metadata. So we connect. So we're connected, and we're immediately straight back down into the metadata settings. Now again, in here we have dummy run, which is saying run through everything but don't actually send anything to Alamy. You can do this just for testing, just to see what would be sent if you want to double check that first. Show log on completion again just opens up a web page with a record of what's been transferred. They're quite handy to keep, but I'm not going to open that. And these two boxes are the key ones now. Upload IPTC, that corresponds to the download IPTC in the fetch operation. That's sending things like the photographer, dates, locations, captions, that kind of thing. Upload tags tells it whether or not you want to send the tags and super tags. You may already have a number of photos in Alamy which have stable tags and you don't want to affect them, so you can switch that off. And upload other Alamy field corresponds to the categories. Is it Alamy exclusive? That kind of thing. Actually, let's set that one at the same time. Alamy exclusive, yes, because they all are. And export. So back where we were. Now the tags field is a little bit more complicated. We have populate tags and prioritize only if empty, and there's, as you can see, quite a few combinations in there. If upload tags is disabled, then of course none of that does anything. The populate tags checkbox is telling the plugin whether or not you want to transfer keywords from Lightroom into these tags and super tags fields. If that's switched off, then it will transfer what's already there and not change it at all. If you have populate tags, then it uses the Lightroom keyword hierarchy to fill these two fields out. Then as the next option, we need to choose how to sort the tags and super tags. There's three options here. One is don't order. That simply takes all of the keywords that Lightroom provides and it puts them in as it finds them. That could be any order at all. Alphabetize alphabetizes the keywords, so your super tags will be all of the keywords beginning with A's, B's and C's. The tags will be D's and upwards depending on what keywords you have. The final one, which is what I recommend using, is prioritize. That uses a lot more intelligence when it's ordering these words. It doesn't just take them in the order that Lightroom provides them. It looks at the words and it looks at a lot of other information that you have available as part of the photo. So if a keyword is capitalized, for example, then it assumes that that's a name, and a name would typically be a place or a person, and that's probably quite important, so that gets prioritized. Any keywords in Lightroom which are part of a caption are prioritized. Any keywords which are too commonly used in the English language are deprioritized. So I won't even pretend that it's as good as a human keywording these things, but if you just want to get something on Alamy right now and then come back to it later when you have time, this is definitely the best option to choose. Incidentally, if you're struggling to find keywords, then go have a look at lightroom-keywords.com and you will get dozens. So I'm going to leave that on prioritize. The final switch there is saying only populate them if there are currently none. So that's kind of a safety option. So by leaving that on, what you're saying is that if you have already sorted keywords, then don't change them. That's important because if you're doing a fetch and a set many times, which is really the point of the plugin to allow you to do that, then you may well have put time and effort into getting the tags at Alamy absolutely perfect for that particular photo, changing orders, adding and removing words, that kind of thing. If you have then done a fetch to bring those back into Lightroom, then you don't want the plugin overwriting those. So this is a way of saying if there's nothing there, then do your best. If there is something there, then assume that someone else has done their best already. So I'm going to leave all of that set. In fact, for these ones, no, I'm going to switch that off because I want to see these tags and super tags change. And export. So those are all sent to Alamy. It said it's set the metadata for 5 of 5 images, and we're done. That is it. So let's have a look at these now. I'm going to do a full refresh in there. And let's have a look at what we have now. Super tags. The blue star there instead of the grey star that was there previously is saying that it's a super tag, and you can see at the top we have 7 of 10 super tags set. So these have clearly been transferred, and they have also been promoted from tags to super tags, and we can check that just by coming in here. Yes, so those keyword options on the export have done the trick. And we come back into here. The license type, of course, you can't set from within the plugin quite deliberately because Alamy want you to leave that as is. And if we come into optional, you can see that we now have the category set there. The Alamy exclusive checkbox is set. Editorial only is no, because there's no reason for that. So this is the very basic usage of that set operation. And of course, if you decide to come back to one of these and change them further, so let's say I decide that I want to add another tag there, you would add a tag here very simply, and then back in Lightroom simply do a refetch, and they will become synchronized. So at this point it would be fair to ask, what's the point of the plugin? Surely all of this I can do directly within Alamy's online tools. And you would be right. Alamy's tools are now actually rather good. They used to be much harder to use, but now you can multi-select, you can apply changes to lots of images at once, and in general they are easier to use than they once were. So why bother with doing it in Lightroom at all? But I think that misses the point of having Lightroom in the first place. Lightroom gives you extremely powerful tools for keywording and for filtering, so really by using the online tools you're missing out on using Lightroom's power, and that is going to be the subject of another video. Now that we have all this information in Lightroom, what do we do with it? Why bother with it in the first place? So that really is all I need to say about the set operation. As I said right at the start, it's the simplest thing to do. You make changes in Lightroom, you send them to Alamy, that's about it. Those changes went through onto their image management tool immediately. They may take a little while to appear to the public in the public search, but that's standard. The plugin is working identically to their own management tools. So I hope this has been useful. It should be the easiest of the operations to get to grips with. So thanks very much for watching.